Uh, Hello everyone. Good evening everyone, and to everyone who is watching this video. And this video is I like to share about the Communion 2019, the 3 days, about the topic of the 3 days and 3 nights typology. So first of all, what is the first one question is the what is the communion, or as like we say, what is the importance of communion? So the importance of communion is remembering the death of Christ, which is during Passover, and for the remissions of sin once and for all. So that means when about this communion is uh, remembering. So that means when about the it was nearly happened in Passover, the death of Jesus Christ. So if we read in the Bible, the Luke chapter 22 verse 19, it says here that, and he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave unto them, saying, this is my body which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. So as in this passage of the verse is already say that Christ did say is that do, this do in remembrance of me. So if you in Communion Tracks 2007 or this 2017 or what, it was written there that this do in remembrance of me. No, I mean 2009. So this in verse 20, it's like this is related on exhorting one another. So that means, which is the word communion, like communication with God. So in verse 20 it said, likewise also the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my body, in my blood, which is shed for you. So if we jump on the verse, Hebrews chapter 10 verse 10, for short, it says there that by which we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once and for all. So that's why that is the importance of communion, is to remembering the death of Christ. That is the key word, remembering. Because there's no sense of communion if you will not just do remember Christ. So that is what's written in Hebrews and Luke. So the next one is I will share or explain the reason why Jesus Christ died and crucified himself to God and to all people who have sinned. So the first one I explain is what is the communion, is what is the sense. So the next one is the reason why Christ died, why Jesus Christ died too. So Jesus Christ died is to number one because there's a three um three headings of that. The reason why Christ died is to number one is sacrifice. That means he is the sacrifice for salvation of the humankind. So he is sacrificed for salvation of all people who need to have a faith. Because if people don't have a faith, or human don't have a faith, they will, or as we say, if Jesus Christ did not die, all people have sinned. All people will not be saved. So, number two is to be dead in sin. This to be dead in sin, Christ died in his body, which is in just the center of the earth, to preach in the spirit in prison. And you know the struggle before he go down in Tartarus. So when the Passion of Christ movie, that it shows the suffer of Jesus Christ, that is the Christ that in his body and just center in the earth to preach in the spirit of prison. So to be dead in sin. That's why it said to be dead in sin. That is for number two. So number three is no, I mean in number two, I will just add the explanation about it because Christ dead in his body when he before he crucified himself on the Calvary, he he suffered a lot, or as we say, we can count how many does he suffered for it. So in number three is the resurrected Christ. The last one is the resurrected Christ. Actually, this is the long one, but during this time when he was in his glorified body, he went in, he went in and out, and the dimension of the dead. the dimension of the dead, to preach and bring them in the earth, also for the entry point to go to heaven. So from down here and then up there. So that dimension of the dead, he he was the first one, as we call Jesus Christ. Is the firstborn among the dead. So that means he is the one who is first to have a glorified body. So he's the one who have a permission to or access to go down to the center of the earth. So this dimension of the dead, he preached it. So like Jesus Christ was on the heart of the earth, or as we call the Tartarus. So to preach spirits in prison, as we say, if we say the spirit in prison, that means Tartarus is a Greek word for hell. So in First Peter chapter 3 verse 18, I will read it. It says, "For Christ also hath once suffered for sin, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit." And verse 19, "By which also he went and preached unto the Spirit in prison." So this is what the Bible says, that among um, what Christ did down to earth. So in Matthew chapter 12 verse 40, I will not give an explanation before that, because you know um, we focus on the one at Tartarus. So this Tartarus in the saint, many question in Bible, many question people question that who is the who is the one who is the peoples when Christ get down to earth, Tartarus, he preached in the spirits of prison. Who is that people? So that people is from the Old Testament who was died. It was like martyred in the time of apostles, in the type of
Abraham.
Abraham. Yes, Abraham. Yes, they were died. Of course. Yes. So okay, next. Um that is when Christ, because in that time, uh, in Bible, the application for the Jesus Christ is represent as the lamb. So that lamb, when we know that Christ didn't exist in Old Testament. So that's why people there doesn't know Jesus Christ. So just in New Testament he existed. So um Christ preach in the spirit of prison and tell story about him, preach about him himself. So okay, next one, let's go to typology. The Matthew chapter 12 verse 40, this is about Jonas. And it was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So this what Bible says that apply to what Jonas and Jesus Christ happened, because that is the same 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth, and the 3 nights and 3 days in a whale's belly. So that was given an explanation, the resurrection of Christ's body. So it was so the resurrection of Christ's body was not a fully 72 hours, because he died on Friday 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So and then according to the gospel, he didn't consume the whole 72 hour. In order to be resurrected, that's instead he was in the heart of the earth, while in his glorified body, form like Christ in spirit and soul was in heart of the earth, preaching the spirit in
Confirmation.
prison that time.
For confirmation.
Confirmation. Like they're giving him a explaining there what is salvation. So because Jesus is the reason of save. So in Matthew chapter 9 verse 31, "For he taught his disciples and said unto them, The Son of Man is delivered into the hands of men, and they shall kill him. And after that he is killed, he shall rise the third day." So that is the one prophecy about Christ, and actually did happen. So in Matthew chapter 24, the last verse, uh, 24, 20, 27, 27, 45. "Now from the 6th hour there was a darkness over all the land, which is the 9th hour. So the 3 days and 3 nights. So for my last explanation, um, the 3 days and 3 nights application was not just actually for of the body, but it was Christ preaching and set free those spirits from the Old Testament saints. Because if he doesn't, he Christ came to the prison, lead captivity captives according to Ephesians. It was written in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 8 to 9. So that is what reason many things happened in communion when he died, before he died, after he died, and then during his resurrection. Many things happened. So that is not just a short fictional story that was blindness of other that think that Christ didn't exist and the Bible does not give a true give a light. So give a fuck. So um the application of Jonas to Jesus is what tells for sure the hour and about um, the sense the sense of the counting of the day. Yes. So that is a three in days and nights application for the resurrection of the body of Christ, because it was Christ. We need to remember Christ during Passover. So in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 8, in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 9, it says that now that he ascended, what is it? But he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth. So this is the last one. We explained this. Uh, we explained this in earlier that about the Tartarus. So he preached. Jesus Christ preached in the spirit of prison. So that's all I want to share. So if you have a questions about this message, you can just comment there down below. And what do you think about the 3 days and 3 nights typologies? So bye to all. Thank you very much.